I'm going to do a review now of a movie I watched last night. It's called White Noise. Um, it's a topic that I only became aware of because I have a friend who's a little younger than me, and he used to always tease me about being on the alt-right because I like reading Drudge Report. It's one of my websites that I read, and I like it because of the way it's laid out. And Matt Drudge was a good journalist years and years ago. So he's teasing me about that I'm on the alt-right. I had known nothing, virtually nothing about the alt-right, but it seems to be a term the younger crowd uses now. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to watch this movie and maybe learn a bit about the alt-right, because as I say, know not much about them. I found this movie to be very good. It's not a topic that, although I like politics, it's not a topic I would veer towards, but I thought I'll use this opportunity to learn something about them, and boy did I learn a lot. There were some journalists, or I guess you call them YouTube journalists, who I know nothing about, but I don't want to denigrate them. But let me give you a couple that I learned in the movie. There's Laura Southern, who's from Surrey, BC, and they do a lot on her. I guess she's pretty famous if you watch YouTube in that genre, and I thought they do a perfect job of just disintegrating her, or exposing her might be a better term. I found her to be so condescending, and she's like one of these provocateurs who tries to say outrageous things to get attention, or at least that's my take. I should make that clear. It's just my take on her. As I say, I didn't know about her before this movie, but a lot of people do. There's Cernovic. I think he's from the U.S. And there's Robert Spencer, I believe his name. So they follow these three, and they go through them at different events. And I just thought they did a good job of exposing them for what they are. I suppose if you're in that, if you're bent towards that, you might follow them. But if you're like me and you're just agnostic as far as the alt-right, and you just listen to what they say, they just are full of hot air, and they're just saying things to try to offend you, and about immigration and all these topics that people get all worked up about. And I must admit, years ago I might have gotten worked up about it, but now that I've watched and read Power of Now, which you can find on YouTube if it's still there, these things don't get me all riled up anymore. So when I'm watching this movie, I'm just like, why are people getting all worked up? I just found them to be empty vessels. I remember the scene though with the one, I think it was Cernovic, his wife, his second wife. He's receiving alimony from his first wife, which is a bit strange. But his second wife referred to her daughter as this thing. And I'm sure she didn't mean it, but I was really taken aback when I heard her say that. Who would ever refer to their children as this thing here? Someone might say it's innocent, but I just don't like it. And so she seems like a calming influence on him, but I gotta tell you, I'm not sure about her. And so I just thought this movie did a good job of exposing them. They're vaping and all these things that I think they do because they think they're cool, and they're drinking, and they're but I thought the movie then showed them they ran out of money. She's dating a guy who isn't European, and she's all pro-European people. It's funny they don't mention the native Indians who were the first here. If you're really all about who's first, it was the Indians. So I just think this is a good movie if you want to learn about the alt-right. I don't put people like Rush Limbaugh, who my friend told me died today, or Sean Hannity. I don't think they're alt-right, but this movie did a good job of exposing these people. You have to get your information from reliable sources, people. I'll just put it that way. And a lot of people who are just talking on YouTube don't necessarily know what they're talking about, and you've got to be careful who you receive your information from. Okay? So I'll just leave it there.